you would have heard the RBI's bite, the governor's bite on growth. And I wonder if the second bite can be once again played. I'm going to try and request my producers to play that out again, because then I want to go to Madan and focus on the growth bit, because there was a very interesting candid response from the governor. Let's take a quick listen into what the governor had to say, the second part of his bite on growth and subsidies.
As I have already articulated, the first quarter numbers should not be, which came at 6.7%. It was primarily due to lower expenditure by both central and state governments. Maybe because of it coincided with the election season. In fact, but we now get a sense that both state and central government expenditures will meet their budget figures, will meet their budget estimates. An important aspect also, which has been perhaps missed out, but which was highlighted in the State of Economy Bulletin article of which was released in September, in the last month's bulletin article. Now, if you sort of, the first quarter, the subsidy payout was very high by the state governments in particular, and also to some extent by the central government. So, GDP is basically GVA plus subsidies, plus indirect taxes minus subsidies. That is plus indirect taxes minus subsidies. Subsidies were very high. In fact, if you take out the effect of the subsidies, the GDP growth would have been quite above 7%. I do have the number, but I don't want that to be a headline. The actual GDP growth would have been upwards of 7%.
Madan, decipher this for us. What is the governor trying to tell all of us?
See, actually, I think what the governor was trying to say is that GDP growth for the year remains unchanged at 7.2%. Now, one might have gotten a sense that in the first quarter, the GDP growth at 6.7% was something on the lower side. And how is it that we're going to get 7.2% for the full year? So I think here the governor has actually said that your consumption has revived. It's also signs that investment has revived. So there are two engines which are doing well. Now, what happened in the first quarter was that we saw that the gross value added actually grew by 6.8%. And I think what he described was the difference between GDP and GVA, where the difference comes from the net indirect taxes, of which one of the large components was subsidies. And since a large amount of subsidies were paid in the first quarter, probably because we had elections coming on, there was some kind of front loading out there. So therefore, that was the reason why the growth in GDP was only 6.7%. Now, this kind of thing is going to get reversed. And as tax collections continue to be buoyant, and we also see that there's less pressure to push forward with subsidies, there would be a tendency for GDP growth to get realigned to the normal path. And that's how we'll be getting into this range of 7.2% and the number moving sequentially in the next 3 quarters. So the essential point is that definitely there is no reason for us to believe that we are off this particular trajectory of 7.2%. And I think this becomes very important, Siddharth, because when we are saying that GDP growth is on the right path, it also means that as a central bank, you don't have to worry about saying that, look, if I don't cut interest rates now, will it come in the way of growth? No, growth is going on the way in which it was projected in the beginning. And therefore, the MPC could continue to concentrate more on the inflation part.